not a good idea. Bro's stealing content? Motherfucker, that's all everyone does! Sorry.
And that's why we'll be stealing this content today, because we are going to be doing our own tier list, because I saw a video of Zyox watching a video of somebody else doing a tier list of casual pulls. Let's see what Zyox has to say. If you're on YouTube, this could be you. These beautiful, beautiful people here. You could also be one of these beautiful, beautiful chatters if you guys join the YouTube. I almost had it. I almost nailed it. If you join the Twitch. God damn it. So close.
I'll paraphrase, but he's like, I like Xiao. He looks, he's cool. I like his design, but Xiao kind of needs a lot of character. But what if we did something similar? What characters? If I was context.
Context.
As a normal Genshin Impact player, who would I pull for? Who would I pull for? Sorry, it's not stealing. It's, hey, that's a good idea. Let's do it too. Hey, and I shouted them out. That's a good idea. Hey.
Yeah, but you're gonna get more views anyway, Zyox. So I mean, what's the point?
Good idea. Okay, but I'm not putting any 4-star characters in here because that's gonna take fucking 5 years, and 4-star characters. Wait, let me put all the 4.
Bro, what are you talking about? Okay, here, chat. So all the characters in 4.5. Wow, that's a lot of characters. All right, let's take a look at all the 4 stars. Must pull. Highly suggested. Good pulls. Meh, don't need, and then this will be 4 stars. The ones you don't need to pull for, let's knock them out real quick. All right. Do this. All right, and then let's take a look at the 4 stars that are highly suggested to pull. Uno, dos. Oh, I forgot about these 2. Get back down there. Trace, get back down there as well. Cuatro, cinco, seis. See, chat, I've been hitting the Duolingo. Siete. I don't think I missed anybody. I think we're good, chat. So, as you guys can see, there's only these many 4 stars that you want to pull for, okay? If these 4 stars appear on banners and you guys are like, hey, I don't have these characters, should I get them? They are very, very impactful. These, collection of 7 4 stars cover some support use cases, across 95% of the most meta teams out there. 70% of them are just covered by Bennett, Xiangling, and Xingqiu alone. Kuki Shinobu for Hyper Bloom, you have Beidou and Fischl for Electro, and then you have Sucrose for Anemo coverage. Very simple, Zyox. Next.
How would I do this? This is gonna be I love you. This is gonna be must pull.
Sorry, I forgot the I love you. Here, let me just add that real quick and then change you to I love you. And it's just grab that real quick. Okay, that's all right. Perfect. Okay, let's continue on with some of the 5 stars now.
No, not must pull. Need. Want. Would consider. Probably not, but maybe.
Why? Zyox, stop yelling at me, bro. Jesus Christ. I know the love is fine. And then you said would consider. Why you would consider?
But maybe, tier, you get me? And then, no. I'll just call this don't want. Okay, actually, I'll do another tier. So this is gonna be no.
He always talks like that. True.
And then this one's gonna be don't want. Okay, this is 5 stars, and this is me as a normie.
TLDR, let's skip to the end, chat. Very easily. Let's just skip to the end. We don't need to waste our time. Let's take a look at this list. Now, we have loves. The casual mindset, chat, is not very difficult to decipher. It really isn't. So let's talk about Zyox's list, and let's talk about the characters that he's put on here. Let's start with the love. Trickle down economics. Zhao, he loves Zhao. He is Zhao. Okay, so why wouldn't he put Zhao? Hu Tao, one of the best power DPSs in the game. Kazuha, one of the best swirlers in the game. Raiden, best DPSs in the game. Kokomi, Farina, one of the best buffers in the game. Yelan, one of the best hydro applications in the game. And then Al-Hytham, one of the best Dendro on-fielders of the game. In my personal estimation, S for must pull, there's only a very, very, very few number of characters that I would say that you should have in your account if you want to cover 98% of the game. First, let's start with Raiden. Raiden is just overall one of the best offensive just juggernauts in the game. We know this, right? Then Kokomi, one of the best hydro off-fielders in the game. And lo and behold, the second best, or technically, honestly, overtaking Kokomi at this point, off-field hydro application would be Farina. Then let's get to on-hit. Yelan, one of the best as well. Definitely a must pull. Al-Hytham, I would say highly suggested. He borders S just because of how disgustingly strong he is. Hu Tao, highly suggest, of course. What else? What other character did he put here, chat? Zhao, honestly, Zhao, one of the best pure DPSs in the game. If you guys didn't know, Zhao in solo output alone. So if you're a casual, you're not going to know all the best combinations in the game. So you might be using Zhao in a suboptimal team. He will still output that much damage for you. Highly suggested. Zhao is correct. Kazuha up here, must pull. Must pull. Very, very simply, Kazuha, one of the best overall characters in the game for sure. Am I missing? Oh! I'll cut him some slack. The reason why I wouldn't put him lower for the memes is actually Cyno's pretty decent. Cyno actually can do a lot of damage if you have proper applications, as well as you just run nationals. Let's be real, everything runs nationals these days. You can run Cyno nationals and actually have a really, really good success, chat. Like really good success. Okay, so that's it for his I love tier. So like if you were to rebuild his account as a casual, I assume that he will be gunning for these characters 100%. And the next tier, let's talk about these characters, because honestly, two of those characters, I don't know why he doesn't love them. Because Nahida being the best Dendro application is a must pull. Top 3 characters in the game, arguably. Still, right? Because she is by far head and shoulders above any Dendro character, with the exception of Alhaitham, of course, on field, in terms of AoE mass Dendro application, right? And with constellations, she just gets even more busted. Okay? Next, Neuvillette. Honestly, highly suggested. He's just that good. He solos, chat. He literally solos. If I were to build my account as a casual and I wanted to clear content, why would I not go for the best solo DPS in the game right now? Next, Shen Yun. Now, Shen Yun's value really is derived from the value of healers right now. So I would say she's a good pull. As a limited character that doesn't come around too often, you don't really need her, to be honest. She's a good pull. All right. She's not even like she's a good pull. As a casual, being able to jump around, honestly, that brings her a lot of value. You know what? Fuck it. I'll put it up there. And then who was the last character, chat? Zhongli. At this point in time, as a casual, as a higher level performing player, I would say good pull or meh, to be honest. But as a casual, does a lot of things quite well if you build him properly. And even if you build him as a shield bot, you at least get protected. So I can understand. Honestly, from a casual standpoint, fuck it. Must pull. Casual standpoint, every casual has him. Next, Tartaglia, Wander, Yai Shunhe, Nilou, Baizhu, and Riesli. Now, let's start from the back. I think Riesli is a highly suggested pull. He is a very strong DPS. Not terrible to get off the ground, even though his damage is shafted by not getting C1. You can still get him off the ground relatively easily. I think he's really solid as a cryo DPS. Melts easily, right? If you take some of these 4-star support characters, mix it in with Riesli, you got an amazing team right there, right? Next, who is it? Baizhu. If I'm not pulling for these 2 other Dendro characters and I don't already have Yao Yao, he's actually a pretty good pull. As a casual, shields, Dendro application, healing, actually really good. Even more so than just, the I want. He actually is genuinely really good for casual play because he's incredibly simple. And his E is of like a 1/3 the effectiveness of Nahida, but, still applies it. It's actually really good. And even now more so better because of characters like Farina. Nilou really likes very non-F2 friendly teams. F2P friendly teams, excuse me. Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, F2P friendly teams. She doesn't really like them. She likes the Nahidas of the world. She loves the Kokomis of the world. Can you make her work with Xinqiu, DMC, Kale, Yao Yao? Yes, but you're gonna have to work for it. You have to really work for it. So she's a good pull. So I'll agree with that. She's a good pull. Shunhe's best uses are to buff cryo DPSs. If you're a casual, you're not going to have that many cryo DPSs. And you shouldn't necessarily be looking to cryo DPS if you're a casual, unless that's the element that you like, then obviously that's a different conversation. So I'm going to say she's meh because she is contingent on the fact that Cryo would be more meta, but it isn't as good as the Dendros of the world or Electros or Pyros of the world. Hydros of the world. I'll put Shunha in meh, actually. Even worse, like a couple tiers down from his want tier. Yai Miko. Yai Mommy Miko. Now, aside from my grudge of having C5, you know, spending $1,000 for C4, I think she is a highly suggested pull. For casuals, you press 3 E's and you have like 90% of her potential. It's just too easy. Okay. Great for Dendro quicken reactions. Very easily, you know, can work with some taser, not that great. Hyperbloom, it's not the best, but it's still really, really solid. Yai Miko, very easy to work with, and she's very pretty. Wander. Now, at base, I'm gonna say he low-key is a meh. For actually, his exploration is so freaking good. It's kind of the similar situation to like a Shen Yun. Highly suggested. His exploration potential is probably top 3 in the game, right? Wander, Shen Yun, Kazuha maybe, arguably, right? Or maybe like Farina if you want to traverse water, something like that, right? So arguably top 3 in the game, Wander's is. Even more so than his damage potential. As a casual, I would like that. I'm gonna put him in highly suggested. Next. Tartaglia. Now, Tartaglia is a little bit outdated at this point, and bows are actually, they're, you know, quite offensively gifted. Bow characters are. I'm gonna put him in good pull. I think where Zyox put him is exactly where he should be. Not necessarily, you know, a higher suggested character, but if you're gonna get him as a hydro driver, he's actually pretty nice if you can learn how to build him. All right, if you're going Unga Bunga and you really don't care to understand how to, you know, manage his time mechanic, then you're not gonna get the best value out of him, right? But it's honestly very simple. It's not very complicated, right? Next, let's look at his would consider tier. Navia, Ayato, and Venti. Now, if I'm already getting Kazuha as a casual, I wouldn't necessarily need Venti. But it's still a really goddamn good pull, even highly suggested. Because there is the factor of exploration as well as the fact that casuals don't know how to group shit. Casuals do not understand boss or enemy mechanics whatsoever. Let's you know, they're level 0 in boss level mechanics, okay? So Venti allows you, as long as you understand how to level group them, Venti honestly is a highly suggested character because of that factor alone, right? Because Kazuha is still very good, but you know, you still can't deny the fact that Venti would be beneficial for the account as well if you're a casual. Ayato. Now, to be honest, he's at the tail end of highly suggested. He's kind of like borderline. He's definitely better than Tartaglia, IMO, just because his applications are a little bit better. He has more use cases, in particular as a support. Remember how I was mentioning before this whole segment, how Ayato can be used as a sub DPS for his ultimate, right? His ultimate is really, really slept on, right? An AoE big circle of hydro application that increases your attack speed, very underrated. Although it's not the most strong ability, it's underrated for sure. So I put him at the top of B, bordering A. Navia. Navia being one of the exceptions to Geo as she enhances with Crystallize, I would say she's a good pull. Just because you can still get away with not having any Geo characters in your account. And if you really need a Geo, just use Geo Traveler. Like if you're desperate, right? Because 98% of content, you really don't need Geo to complete, which is the unfortunate reality. Even though she does a lot of damage for very, very little investment, she's still a good pull, but that doesn't mean she's as valued as some of these other characters. And even exploration wise, I would say she's still just a good pull. So kind of in line with what Zyox says here. I'm surprised that I actually agree with Zyox more than I thought I would. We're gonna go over some of the other characters, and then we're actually gonna go over the standard characters. Because the standard characters are chronicled, I think it's important to go over them as well, because now they're pseudo limited through the chronicle, right? So let's go over the standard characters as well. We're gonna go over Eula, Linny, Ayaka, Ito, and Ganyu. Ganyu, good pull. All right, probably not, but maybe. I think she's still a good pull. Her ultimate, 100% uptime, really, really good. Ayaka, I'd say she's really good too. One of the best crowd DPSs in the game, really good. Yoimiya, meh. At this point, just use Xiangling, or if you want Hu Tao. Even Linny at some point will out DPS her, which is kind of gross, but Ito, same issue as Navia when it comes to Geo. And because he only works with Mono Geo and you need good investment in Mono Geo, if you're a casual, you don't need him. Sorry, Himbo fans, you just don't need him. Because if you're going to invest into some other characters as a casual, these higher performing characters, it just doesn't make sense to use Ito. Klee, don't need. Just use Yanfei. All right, you know what? Yanfei, where the hell is Yanfei? I'm going to put her strictly above Klee. Yola, don't need as well. Unfortunate. Dehya, we won't go through the standard characters yet. Chiori, don't need. All right, simple. All right, so our list is a little bit lopsided. You know, his list is a lot more like front loaded, you know, like higher to lower, and mine's a little more bell curved-ish. So that's the limited characters. But now since the Chronicle banners are out, they are now pseudo-limited. Let's talk about the standard characters. Jean, highly suggested. Jean's incredibly strong, gives so much support in many different areas. And because of the prevalence of healers through Farina, she's just a highly suggested pull. Mona, good pull. If you really need Hydro application, you just, you know, don't like some of these other Hydro characters and you want some off-field Hydro application and you don't like Kokomi, use Mona. She's a little bit copium, but she's still a good pull. Diluc, don't need anymore. Just use Xiangling. Keqing, actually not bad. I'll put her in meh. Because of her resurgence through Dendro, Keqing's still pretty decent as a damage dealer through Quicken. I'll say she's still meh. Chi-Chi, you don't need Chi-Chi anymore. All right, there's just better healers down in the pack here that do more than she does. Tighnari, actually a good pull. Tighnari's actually a really, really good pull. Tighnari, even though he does require, you know, characters like Yai Miko and some other, you know, even Dory actually works quite well with Tighnari. He needs off-field Electro application to be effective in his best teams, a la the Quicken teams. Still, really, really solid pull and very easy to use because all you do is E and then you charge attack. Very simple. Very, very simple. All right. And it auto targets for casuals. That's a good pull in my book. Dehya. Now, this might be controversial. I think Dehya is actually a pretty decent pull. I think she's actually a pretty decent pull. You know why? It's because she offloads damage off of your characters, very much like a Zhongli does. Not too many characters that we talk about in this, you know, throughout some of our, you know, rotations from this really mitigate damage. There's a lot of healers because there's a, you know, healer meta, but not a lot of characters like Zhongli or Dia will offset that damage for you. And she has pyro application, which is actually pretty decent for your mono pyro teams, and paired with Xiangling will work very, very well. I think Dia actually, unironically, if you're going to grab her from the Chronicle banners, is actually a pretty decent pull. So this is my list. Obviously, they're just put him meh. Honestly, he's actually pretty decent. Better than the value. Honestly, Albedo's value is better than Nito. I'll do some reviews on your guys' comments in the chat. I'll go back to some of your guys' comments right now. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments about what your Genshin casual tier list would be. And again, this is as of 4.5. Arlecchino is literally coming out in a couple weeks. Characters like Emily. Who's Emily? Ooh, I don't know about Emily. You know, characters like Cloren are slated to come out. So this might shake up this casual tier list. But as so far as 4.5, I think what we have here is pretty good. And honestly, Zyox did a pretty good job, I think. As someone who's generally informed about the Genshin community as a whole, I think Zyox did pretty good. So let me know what you guys thought about this casual tier list in the comments below. Make sure you guys like. And my name's Josh. You should click on one of our next videos. We'll see you in the next one. All right. Thanks, guys. I don't think it's a bad list. I'm saying I don't think it's a bad list.